Oh, come with me as I can all of this squash. I got 4 huge squash from the food pantry. This is my first canning session where I ended up with 7 quarts. Now we're about to can 11 pints. Now here's where I tell you, I am not a rebel canner. I am using a tested recipe. I have a Presto 27 quart canner, and so we are going ahead and starting this process with one of those recipes. So I am blanching the squash for about 2 minutes and then filling my hot jars with the hot squash, and then I am filling the jars with some hot water from my kettle, and then I am wiping down the rims of my jars, as well as making sure that I have 1-inch headspace and making sure to get all of the air bubbles out of each one of the jars. And then once I've done that for each one of the jars, I put my lid and my rings on, and then I go ahead and get those jars ready to put into the canner. So I have been prepping my jars in the canner, just getting them all warmed up and sterilized for the past 20 minutes. I also did the same thing with my lids and my rings, and then I had the water boiling for my squash. So here I'm just wiping down my rims with vinegar, as mentioned before, and putting my lids and rings on each one of the jars. You want to get the rings fingertip tight, just so that they don't come too loose in the canner, but your lids can still seal. So then I put these into my canner, and I am going to have to do a double stack load because I have 11 pint jars. And so I'm also taking out the jars that I will be using for my next batch, because in order to get everything situated in the canner, I have to make room for the other jars. And so this is my last batch of squash. I did a total of 3 batches, doing the same process that I did with the first batch, getting those all sealed up and put into the canner. And then I am double stacking and putting my last 3 jars on the top of that stacker, and then closing that lid up. Now, these need to process for 55 minutes for the pint-sized jars. For the quart-sized jars, it's 90 minutes. And so once that vent is steaming for about 10 minutes, I go ahead and put my weighted gauge on the canner and let that cook for 55 minutes. And then this is the product that I end up with. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Come back for more.